007, satellite reconnaissance has located a military outpost on the Russian border. MI6 intelligence has confirmed that they are using a high-powered communications dish to illegally decode the positions of our GPS satellites. Your first job is to laser designate the dish for an immediate airstrike. Remember to keep a safe distance from the target. We can't afford to lose you, 007.
Hello and welcome to the scare you again.
You just very suddenly abrupt with it.
It goes very quiet. Hello! It's like, oh my word.
Well, that's the indication that the podcast has begun, where it goes quiet, and then I jump in.
Yes,
I know.
we've just tarnished your intro.
Indeed, it's fine. I'll let you off. 60-second retro gamer with me, Simon Pryor. What have you?
Where are you going? I want to do the podcast standing up now.
I'm going to stand away from the mic so it can hear me, but not
Something
quite
fell
as
in my
well.
drink.
I think it was a chip. A chocolate chip.
Was it a chocky chip?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it's floating.
You've got a floater.
I'm gonna drink it.
Yeah, I would.
So, yeah, 60-second retro gamer.
What's happened?
Have you drank your chip?
I have.
Okay, that's good. Today, we are going back to the dark days of the PS1. And we are looking at...
That's very sinister.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is a bit, yeah.
I need some sinister music, but I'm not dubbing it on afterwards because that would be cheating.
Yes. If I had my keyboard to hand.
We're going to join James Bond, as he replicates the film of the same name, Tomorrow Never Dies. Tries
to replicate the film.
Yeah,
of
but
the
if you
same
think about
name.
it, I wasn't overly keen on the film because the villain is rubbish. Jonathan Pryce's purpose.
He had really shit, like,
He had a bad motive.
yeah.
He was a
but
good villain.
He
but
was still ace. It
was-
was still a
yeah.
good film.
it was
Can't
all- yeah.
deny it. I loved it.
It's better than Die Another Day.
I think anything was better than Die Another Day, to be completely frank with you.
Taken is better than Die
Oh,
Another Day.
yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't go that far.
No.
No.
Is that pushing it?
That's pushing
Yeah.
it way too far.
Oh, okay.
That's get out of your
No,
own house.
no. No.
Leave now.
No. Leave and never come back. Actually, I've sort of lapsed into Starscream now. It's supposed to be Gollum.
Yeah.
Megatron!
Anywho.
Yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies, PS1. I remember this being actually quite good back in the day. We went back and played it, and I thought, actually, no, it doesn't look very good at
No,
all.
I thought that. I was like, oh, this game was ace when I was little. Oh dear, this hasn't aged. very
Maybe
well.
not at all.
No.
It suffers from classic PS1 itis. I mean, the PS1 was fantastic at the time, but comparatively speaking, with 10, 15 years of hindsight, it's like, oh dear,
Yeah.
what's gone wrong there?
Yeah, but not all of them have aged that bad. That's the thing. It's like Metal Gear Solid still looks ace.
This is true.
And The
This
World
true.
Is Not Enough looks ace, but Tomorrow Never Dies just looks appalling in comparison to the rest of them.
Yeah.
Piss poor.
Anyway, the game vaguely follows the story of the film, with some new bits thrown in. I think it's over 11 missions altogether. 11
Around
different
that.
missions,
11,
yeah.
12, something like that.
And you're tasked as Bond in third-person mode, which is because this is the first game that came after GoldenEye, and they decided to break from tradition and do a third person.
Didn't work.
Which does it works in places, but
Did it?
the skiing one. I mean, I prefer skiing.
Yeah,
in
but
third
even that was
person.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, turn. Oh, you've hit a tree.
If you watch the review first, you'll see some silly bits from the skiing levels.
Very comedic deaths.
Yeah,
Almost cartoony.
but yeah,
It was alright. But no. It was just generally a bit pants compared to what I remember it being really good. But it was like the first little bit there. I tried to add a little bit on before the snow bit.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the first film. No, it wasn't in Doctor No. At the beginning of the film in question. And
shocking.
yes. And it was alright, but it was sort of like put this transmitter on this dish and we will come and bomb it.
Yeah.
Then progress to the next section, ski down a hill, and there you are. It was like, what?
And they did the Spy Who Loved Me riff at the end
Yeah.
of that, where
Yeah.
You parachute
parachute
in with a Union Jack. Yeah.
not an actual flag. That would be tragic.
It actually
You
it-
Yeah.
it
probably
does
fall
say.
to your death.
Yeah, it does say on Wikipedia, reminiscent of that from The Spy Who Loved Me,
Yeah. It just wasn't very good.
which he didn't do in the actual film. So why did they have to do that in the game?
I don't know. It was just
Because
like,
there isn't a game of The Spy Who Loved Me.
no, make one. Then they made one of From Russia with Love. And it was all right. But it was just, I don't know. They tried too hard to be clever, and unfortunately, when you try too hard to be clever, you get things like Taken, which are shit. And it
Have you
just-
got a vendetta against this film
I
today?
hated it because I've just seen that it's on, and the TV guide gave it 4 out of 5, which is not right. Their opinion is wrong.
It also,
That's what I say.
I think it sort of slightly marked up as a fail, in the fact that it didn't have a multiplayer option.
No, that was a bit
And
disappointing.
I mean, it seems to be a tradition for Bond games to at least have some, or at least at that stage,
Yeah.
thanks to GoldenEye, it was like, oh, no multiplayer. Or
I mean, the
what?
PlayStation 1 of the world is not enough didn't have any, but
Yeah.
that didn't really need it because that game was
No.
brilliant anyway. But this one could have really done with it, to be honest. And they could have really... What I was really excited about was hoping that the car chase round the car park
Yep.
was going to be a playable level, which would have been ace, but it wasn't. Instead, you ended up driving around some mountainous range, which I don't recall ever being in the film.
No,
By
that's the
which
thing.
point, the boring...
Creative license was being
Yeah.
stretched quite dramatically at that
It
stage.
was like the boring Beamer was utterly fucked by now. Why is it still here?
Yeah.
Why is Q still introducing? Well, I'd say Q, some man who tries to sound like him.
Oh, grow up, 007.
Oh, who are you?
Yeah, the
Oh,
voice
is that
acting
supposed to be Pierce Brosnan? It doesn't fucking sound
played
like
by
it.
Adam Blackwood, apparently. Never heard of him.
No. Doesn't even look like him either. It just-
PS1 graphics, I mean, to be fair, it looks a bit like Pierce Brosnan.
A tiny smidgen, maybe, yes.
Yeah.
But it has his hairdo. That's about it.
That's enough for a
That,
PS1
yeah, that's
game.
reminiscent of Pierce Brosnan.
Do
It
you know
has
what?
his
Do you know?
gelled
Do you know
hair.
what the game is essentially?
What?
A poor man's siphon filter.
Yeah.
But at least Bond in this one doesn't run like he's soiled himself.
Well, no.
No, he runs
There
like
is
he
that.
needs a piss instead.
Yeah.
So either way, you can't win.
Wobble, wobble, wobble,
Yeah,
wobble.
but no, Siphon.
Bond!
I've never played Siphon Filter, but Siphon Filter does look like a far more superior game to this. I tell you,
Yeah.
it's pants. It really is utterly pants. I
Well,
mean,
the voice acting it doesn't exactly set it a lot.
No.
The gameplay is rather clunky,
yeah,
to be honest.
the controls are very, very hard.
At the time, maybe not so much, but just to give you some background for this as well, the game was met with only average reviews and currently has a 5.9 rating on GameStats.
Oh dear.
No mention of Metacritic, strangely enough.
Yeah.
After this title, another third-person shooter based on the Bond franchise was not created until 2004 with Everything or Nothing, which is apparently one of the better entries.
It is apparently that game is apparently supposed to be the Bond, the Bond film that never was made.
yeah.
It was,
Which we
people
will
class
get
it-
round to reviewing that
yeah,
eventually.
people have classed that as apparently Brosnan's swan song because Dying of the Day was so appallingly shit
Yeah,
that people didn't want to class that as his final film,
It
which I
was-
don't blame them.
horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
it's like turning around and saying, "Oh yeah, Quantum of Solace is going to be Daniel Craig's last film." Oh dear.
Not
Please
one to
don't.
go out on, is it?
No, not a film
Um,
that doesn't make any sense.
Soundtrack wise, it's pretty good, isn't it?
It weren't bad. I mean, they did David Arnold's trademark Bond sound. Well, his early trademark Bond sound anyway, quite well. But it still sounded cheap in comparison. Which it wasn't good. But
No.
it was alright. Yeah, I can't say it was amazing, but it was not bad.
It was distinctly average. I
Yeah.
think that's what I can say.
Yeah, there is no. I was trying to think of a better term, but there isn't.
No.
That's all you can say about it.
Distinctly average.
Yeah.
Like, comparatively speaking as well, I mean, back in the day I used to think these games were like really quite lengthy affairs, but I mean you could probably, if you're good at it, you could probably finish the story in about 6 hours, couldn't you?
Yeah, because I mean,
If that.
I got through 3 missions in I don't know how long. It wasn't very long when we
No.
captured. I was like, oh okay. But although to be fair, we did have the level skip cheat on as well, so I had all the levels available.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, I mean, you were playing through the complete level. weren't
yeah,
you?
they
So, I
were
mean,
still ridiculously short. which
doesn't
was-
take very long at all. I mean, that seems to be a common thing with most Bond games, to be honest. I mean, even up to
Yeah.
GoldenEye on the Wii, that was only about a 6-hour story.
Really.
So you know,
Bloody
it's they haven't got any shorter, but they haven't got any longer either. Now, with regards to
He's lost his stride.
yeah, difficulty levels.
That's
There's
what you're referring to, the fact that the game's poorly designed difficulty levels?
no.
or
The
just
fact that
difficulty?
you can choose between Agent, Double Agent, 007, all of that. Those are still options, and that is a recurring theme even up to today.
Ah.
It's you know, the higher the difficulty, the more objectives you have on the level.
I'd say the
that sort of
only
thing.
real difference between the different difficulties would be that the enemies are probably kill you a lot quicker than they would if you were on, say, I don't know, medium or easy.
Yeah.
That's probably the only difference. Or they're a bit more nippy, and you can't really, not that you could really aim at them very well anyway, but as you can tell from one bit where I tried to shoot someone with a sniper rifle and just resorted to shooting them in the John Thomas, which worked rather well effectively.
did the
Killed them
trick,
in a
didn't it?
couple of shots. And
Still took them 2 shots to die.
yeah, and then someone
But-
ran round a corner, as you see on the review. I think it's towards the end, and I think it took about 4 or 5 bullets before they eventually dropped down,
Yeah.
killed to death, utterly. And I don't know. It didn't. The whole idea of a Bond time is that you feel like Bond, and you didn't feel like Bond at all. You felt like you were struggling with some chap who was trying to be like James Bond.
Bond's just this guy, you know.
You know, it felt more like a spoof than anything. I'll go as far. It felt like a spoof of the film,
Yeah.
like, and a really bad one that just didn't work. It was just, I don't know. It's just shit.
Well, I mean, given that it's a PS1 game, I think at the time it probably was an average game, but at the same time it was still sort of vaguely playable. It's only with like all these many years of hindsight that you know, of better games
Yeah.
that you think actually no, maybe it wasn't that good first time around.
Yeah, but my argument against that is games like The World Is Not Enough and Metal Gear Solid should feel the same, and they
Depends
feel
who develops it as well.
they feel almost brand new in places because they're so well put together. So I think it's just generally the game just hasn't aged. I mean, it's like Silent Hill doesn't look very good anymore. Some PlayStation games age well, and
Others
some
don't.
look.
I think it also
bad.
probably comes down to gameplay,
Yeah.
because the game, playing it again, it was very difficult. It's a bit like Siphon Filter. It's a great game, but the controls are extremely hard.
Yeah.
I can agree with that quite easily. It was very
Um,
clunky to turn, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just didn't. You know, we've got the benefit now of analog sticks and the ability to fine aim and whatnot. But back then it was very much.
Aim and hope for the best.
Yeah, it was all about digital aiming, so wasn't a, you had to aim precisely, which was very hard. Okay, you can get the odd fluky headshot every now and again, but
It's still, you got to pump a lot of ammo into people to kill them.
yeah,
Yeah, which seemed highly unrealistic. And to be honest, they were far too accurate for Bond enemies. They were Bond baddies, they should have at least shot half the scenery out before they hit you, as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
But there you
it is
go.
a game, suspension of
Yeah,
disbelief and
I
all of that.
suppose, yeah.
So-
That's just me being a little too anal.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's certainly not going to be the top of your list of Bond games,
Oh,
is it?
good God,
No.
And
no. It'd
in
be near the
fairness-
bottom.
In fairness, GoldenEye did set a very high standard. That's like the first.
Well, it was a very well put together game.
Yeah.
I mean, all they had to do really was just take a little extra time on it and refine it a little bit more, and it probably could have been a really good game. Or if they'd have just done a first-person one, it probably would
Yeah.
have been just as good.
I think, in essence, it was an experiment. I mean, there are like first-person bits you can do, like the sniper rifle,
Yeah,
aiming down the sights a little bit. But
yeah, and there
Yeah.
are the driving levels. But
yeah,
again, the driving levels aren't exactly incredible.
no.
They're all right. They're quite fun in places, but it's quite funny to see a car driving along, catch fire, carry on driving, and then eventually blow up when you pound
Yeah.
a few more missiles or whatever into them. It's like, surely one missile would be enough for a car to blow up. But
No,
no, not in the Bond video game world.
I find it a bit irritating as well that they felt the need to just randomly include a driving level that had nothing to do with the film.
Yeah, like I said, I was hoping for the car park, the multi-story car park driving bit from the film to be in there.
Yeah, well, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was just some shitty levels they put together that really were not that good at all.
No, I mean, I think they've learnt from that since then,
Yeah.
but still, yeah, I wouldn't go out of my way to play it again.
No, certainly not. I'd put it to the bottom of the shelf and leave
Yeah.
it there to
Best place for it.
pass away quietly in its sleep.
Yeah. So, anything else you'd like to add about it?
The film's ace. It's a shame.
About the game. About the game.
I was going to let me finish. I'm going to say the film's ace. It's a shame it had a shit tie-in.
Well, that's a lot of films, isn't it?
Yeah, true. But there you
Let's be
go.
honest.
It was about the podcast. A changing tradition where you say that and we say something completely off topic.
That's true. Mr.
Ah.
Hatton, have you got anything to say about the game?
When I first played it, I said it was better than Siphon Filter. In hindsight, I was wrong.
Yeah,
You thought wrong.
by a lot. You can't taser people to fire.
No, I mean it was okay for what it was at the time.
Mm.
But obviously we've had the benefit of many years' experience now, and it just doesn't seem. It hasn't aged well. The gameplay is not particularly great, but you know that's just the way it is.
Yeah, the way it rolls sometimes.
Hey ho. So, if you have anything you'd like to email us about, you can contact us at email address, which is info@randomstoke.com. We'll be back again next time with another exciting episode of 60-Second Gamer or Retro Gamer, whichever's next on the schedule. And we'll be back next time. So, thank you for listening and goodbye for now.